ॐ स्थापकाय च धर्मस्य सर्वधर्मस्वरूपिणे अवतारवरिष्ठाय रामकृष्णाय ते नमः।
Dear friends, welcome back to the study of the Bhagavad Gita chapter 3, known as the chapter on Karma Yoga. And as because it is the most practicable, relevant, applicable philosophy in the modern age, so I am sparing no effort to make it abundantly clear to you that in the modern age, if you desire to be one with God, then Karma Yoga is the right royal avenue to reach there. Now, I will quickly revise few ideas which are relevant and I'll go ahead. In the Bhagavad Gita, in the 3rd chapter, Krishna says, in the ancient times, Arjuna, I have mentioned to the human society, there are two different paths, Jnana Yogena Sankhyanam, Karma Yogena Yoginam. Jnana Yoga and Karma Yoga. That is what he had said there. And then he says that Jnana Yoga is an advanced stage of practice which you cannot do as you are as of today. And I always give you an example. We are novice, we are starters in spiritual exercises, we are in the kindergarten class, early learning class of spirituality, whereas Jnana Yoga, Jnana Marga is in the highest level. Therefore, we have to move gradually, and Karma Yoga is an amalgamation of Jnana Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, and Raja Yoga, all three rolled into one in Karma Yoga. That is the secret. Why? When you say, I am a Karma Yogi, then the whole world becomes your place of worship. There's not a moment of time in your life or not an iota of space in your life where God is not. This all permeation of the divine, omnipotent, omnipresent concept of the divine is a product of Jnana Marga's thinking. Emotionally involved with that God is Bhakti Marga's thinking. To control your mind not to go wayward, but to concentrate on the object itself is a Raja Yoga. And all these three has to be put into practice in your life. You see the divine everywhere. You interact with the world as you are interacting with the divine, Bhakti Yoga, and you keep your mind as sharp as a razor's edge. You don't fall this way or that way. You keep pointed in that direction and perform your duties of life. This is how Madhavanandaji explained to me after I raised a question. I read Shankara's commentary. Shankara says, Ishwararpana buddhya kriyamane karmani shatta shuddhiya jnana praptir yogyata bhavati. In this chapter, what does he say? That look, Ishwararpana buddhya kriyamane karmani. if you continue to perform your duties of life as an offering to the divine, that process of divinizing your life makes you competent enough, eligible enough, qualified enough to create a very pure heart. Then only the Jnana Marga, that is, the whole world is the divine. There are no Nama, no Rupa, no Guna, no Karta Kriya Karita. It is the absolute Advaita entity. It will come to you then after this. That is how Shankara says. Guru Maharaj says, Kali Juge Jnana Bhakti Prashasta. In the modern time, Jnana Mishra Bhakti, that is Jnana and Bhakti, they should blend together. And that is the best avenue to reach your goal. He said it theoretically, though his life was an example of all these sayings. But look what Swamiji did. Swamiji took that idea, Kalite Jnana Mishra Bhakti Prashasta. That is the right royal avenue to reach your goal. Swamiji enunciated this concept of Karma Yoga, which was not his invention or discovery. It was in the essence of India's spiritual tradition. But he modified it to some extent so that it is possible to function in the modern age. You don't have time to live in the forest. You don't have the time to live a ritualistic life from the morning to evening as enunciated in Apara Vidya. You have no time for that. You have to earn your living. You have to look after your family. You have to do so many things. Why don't you educate yourself to convert this activity into a worship of God? Ishvara arpana buddhya kriyamane karmane. Now, Acharya Shankara, to explain to you systematically, he says, you do this, this will happen to you, and then you do that, and that is how you'll reach the goal. He divides it for a better and a cleaner and a clearer understanding. Whereas Swamiji says, Karma Yoga is a direct and an independent means to realization. Direct means to realization, independent means to realization. So Shankara says it happens in stages, and Swamiji says it happens all by itself. That was my confusion, my thinking. And I went to Madhavanandaji to ask about it. And Madhavanandaji explained me on these three concepts. Why it is direct and independent means, if you say, this happens after that, there's a momentary difference. Who guarantees that in that moment something will not happen to stop you? So this has been thrashed in our scriptures. It is known as anavastha dosha. This happens after that happens. You can speak it that way, actually it doesn't happen. And Sri Ramakrishna says, Purna Gyan, Purna Bhakti, Nishkama Karma is Purna Jnani's Lakshana. He uses the Purna, completeness. That completeness is all pervasive, all inclusive. So what happens is, A karma yogi constantly is thinking of the divine and offering his life to the divine, and in the process he is saturating himself with the awareness of the divine. That saturation level may be 0.001% to start with, and more you practice, it increases 1%, 2%, 3%, 99%, and at one time your ego merges with the divine. You have saturated yourself with the divine. It's a spontaneous, gradual process. There is no stages here. It's the process of being and becoming. This is what is Karma Yoga all about. Now we have read all that in great detail. The 29th shloka completes this section. From the 30th shloka, which we will study today, is another topic. Let us complete the 29th shloka. What does he say? Tattavittu mahabaho guna karma vibhagayoho guna guneshu vartante iti matva na avisajjate na sajjate. Let us have a word-to-word meaning. By contrast, tu means by contrast. Contrast with whom? Who is not Tattvavit. You and me. We continue to perform our duties of life with an eye on the result of our performance. We are habituated, we are born with it, and I do not know how many lives we have been doing it. So we are a victim of the force of habit, of expectation of the work, the result of the work that I do. I am a Tattvavit, I am a Krishnavit. These two words have been used before. One who doesn't know the reality, one who does not know the totality of the whole cosmos. Good enough. Tattvavittu, by contrast, between Atattvavit and Tattvavit, what is the contrast? He sees Prakriti kriyamanani guna karmani vibhagayo. The whole world is nothing else but the cosmic movement of that Maya Shakti, or Jnana Shakti, Avidya Shakti, or Prakriti. All these four words mean the same thing. And Guna Guneshu Vartante. This is all in the domain of Maya. It is beyond me and my control. Iti matva, knowing this fully well, na sajjate, he does not get attached to this world and the expectation from the world. That is how he concludes. Atattavit sajjate, tattavit na sajjate. As simple as that. Atattavit, he who has not known it, sa sajjate, he gets attached. And what is the end result of attachment? He loses his cool, he loses his poise, and he becomes a victim of circumstances, and the world makes him dance to the tune, and he dances around like a puppet. Because he has sold away his soul to expectations. And the other person, having gone through this experience, having analyzed it, having known this is where the error lies, he refuses to be a puppet in the hands of Maya. He sees the game of Maya all around, including himself. But he refuses to cooperate or refuses to be a victim of that. This is the difference between a Tattvit and an Atattvit, Krishnavit and all-Krishnavit. Good enough. Now, Sri Krishna is concluding. What is he saying here now? Having explained everything, he wants you to understand very, very correctly, properly, in a crystal clear manner, with a rock solid understanding and conviction, what we have to do to be Tattvit, to be Krishnavit, to be one with God. Therefore, this shloka is very, very important. As I keep on telling you, these scriptures have been written in a very, very, very enlightened way of expression. When you read for the first time, it is informative. You read again, twice or thrice, you say, it is educative. It is educating me. You read again and again, you find instructions in it, what to do, what not to do. Informative, educative, instructive, and finally descriptive. He describes to you what will happen to you when you reach that goal, so that you are not left in a limbo. You know what is happening to you and what will happen to you, and you'll remain a human with a total sea change of your personality. You have divinized your personality. So this shloka dear is informative, instructive, educative, descriptive, all rolled into one. That is why I would say, please pay a little attention to this shloka number 30, which he is now concluding after informing, educating, instructing, and now he is telling you what you should do to reach that goal. Mai sarvani karmani sanyasya adhyatma chetasa nirashi nirmamo bhutva juddhasya vigata jara. As I told you, let us go for the word-to-word meaning. Then let us proceed with the meaning of the sentence, the whole shloka, and then what are the hidden information, education, instruction, and description. Let us start. Mai sarvani karmani sanyasya. Mai, in me. Offer it to me. What? Sarvani karmani. Life and activity are synonymous. As long as you are alive, you are active. The totality of your activity, you offer it to me. And to nobody else. Sannyasa means in totality, without any residue behind. Sarvani karmani mai sannyasya. How can I do that? Adhyatma chetasha. What is adhyatma chetasha? Adhyatma chetasha means Chetana means awareness. Adhi Atma Cheta. That is, I am constantly aware of presence of the divine. With this awareness, your mind always alert, your whole life is converted into an offering to the divine. Sarvani karmani moi sanyasya. Offer it to me in totality. How can I do it? Adhyatma chetasa, adhyatma chetasa. Be constantly aware of my presence in your life and in this whole cosmos. Nirashi nirmamo bhutva. Nirashi, without any desire and expectation. Nirmamaha, mamata. What is mamata? Jadi mamattam namincheta kuru mamatta sarvatram. It's a wonderful statement from Madhusudana Saraswati, one of the saints during the period of Emperor Aurangzeb. What is mamata? Attachment and identifying myself with something else. This is mine. This is mine. This is mine. It belongs to me. That is, I have extended myself to that object and I have identified myself. Now, this is mamata. Identifying yourself with what you are not. And I think of it and I say, well, I have served this organization for 75 years. I am attached to it. I belong to this organization. The organization belongs to me. I am totally involved. And how can I rid myself from this attachment? The Madhusudana Saraswati, both a realized soul and an erudite scholar, he says, look, my dear, jadi mamattam namuncheta, jadi, if by chance or if by effort you are unable to get rid of mamata, muncheta means to get rid of, to throw it away. Jadi mamattam namuncheta. If you are unable to get rid of this so-called attachment and involvement with things of the world, and you say it is good for me, it is helpful to me, I belong to this organization belongs to me, and the organization is the physical body of Sri Ramakrishna. That is how Swamiji told us that you must consider this is a physical body, don't harm it. Try to help it and to serve it, don't harm it. So, what can I do? So, Madhusudana Saraswati, that's not much of a problem. Kuru mamattam sarvatra. Identify yourself with the whole cosmos. That is mukti. As soon as there is a sense of separateness, you are bound out. When you have identified yourself with the cosmos, I belong to the cosmos and the cosmos belongs to me. There is no limitation. It is infinite, eternal, absolute, immutable. That is how you get rid of mamata. Nirashi nirmamo bhutva. Don't desire anything. Don't get attached and get involved because of attachment to anything. Yuddhasya. Here, yuddha does not mean literally the warfare. Life is an endless battlefield. Battlefield between right and wrong. Here he says, continue to perform the duties of your life, whatever it may be. Unfortunately for Arjuna, being a Kshatriya, being born at that time, he fought it out. He had no way out. He had to be a Nishkam Karmi, and his karma was Yuddha. Look at Swamiji. Look at Swami Vivekananda. He was a Karmi. His effort to fight, to remove the ignorance of Atman from human mind. And he fought it out. And he didn't expect anything in return. He did it as an offering to his Guru. Sri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu, I am offering to it. And this is a mantra that we always use. Om Sri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu. All that I have done, I offer it to him. Bigata Jwaraha. Bigata means get rid of. Jwara means here grievance, complaint, grumbling, hesitancy. Call it by any name. Jara means santapa, not fever, not the heating up of the body which you measure with, which you measure by thermometer and say, I am feverish. No. Here jara means santapa. Santapa means your unwellness of your mind, not feeling at home with yourself. You're under stress, you're under duress, you're under grief, you're under grumbling, you're under groaning, you're under hesitancy, you're under doubt. Get rid of all that. Don't allow your mind to go there. Let your mind be always aware of the presence of the divine in your life, and let your life flow. Every moment of your life is an interaction with your Ishtadev, your divine. Mai sarvani karmani, mai sangnasya adhyatma chetasaha nirashi nirmamo bhutva juddhasya vigata jana. With this, he concludes how the life of a karma yogi has to be conducted. How the life of a karma yogi is to be conducted. Life and activity are synonymous. When you say, I am sitting quietly and I am doing nothing, not that I am playing with words, dear. It's a fact of life. Try to understand what I am telling you. I am sitting quietly and I say, I am doing nothing. What does it mean, dear? It means I am doing something which I call by nothing. I am doing nothing. I am doing, but I call nothing. That means life cannot be without activity. When you are declared clinically dead, when the doctor says your heart has stopped working, your brain has stopped working, your important organs have stopped working, there is no activity in this body, you are dead. Prior to that, you are alive. So life and activity are obverse and reverse of the same coin. That life of mine, whatever I do, in the 9th chapter, this very idea has been exposed further. Let me explain that too in short. We will come to that when we go to the 9th chapter. Jat karoshi, jad ashnashi, jat juhashi, dadasi jat, jat tapasyasi konteya, tat kurusha, mad arpanam. This is the shloka, 2 lines. What does it say? Jat karoshi. Whatever you have to do as a sense of duty. Whatever you have to do as a sense of duty. And there is no human being who doesn't have a sense of duty. Either a sense of duty or a sense of hobby. No man can exist without these two. Jat karoshi. Whatever you do as a sense of duty, performance, activity. Jad ashnashi. Ashnashi means absorption. Absorption here means grossest of the gross food and subtlest of the subtlest idea you are absorbing. Jat karoshi, jat ashnashi, absorbing. Jat juhashi, you are performing yaga and yajna. In the present day, your performance of duty is yaga and yajna because you are offering it to God. Jad ashnashi, jad juhashi, dadashi yat. Whatever philanthropical, charitable activity that you do. Jat tapasyasi konteya, he kuntiputra. The effort that you are making to perform it that way. Habitually, you cannot do so because you are a victim of your habit. Now you are trying to change your habit and you are going on with it. Tapasya, hard work, physical, emotional, intellectual. Jat tapasyasi konteya, he kuntiputra. Now recount these. Jat karoshi, duty. Jat ashnashi, assimilation and absorption from the gross food to the subtlest idea. Jat juhashi, whatever you offer to God. Jat dadashi jat, whatever you give by philanthropy and charity. Jat tapasyasi konteya. You are trying to make yourself a better specimen of a human being by following these instructions. If you don't make an effort, you don't reach there. So you are putting an effort. Tat kurusha. Kurusha is a special usage in Sanskrit grammar, lat lokar. What does it mean? It means you have no escape. You have no option. How do I do that, sir? Madarpanam kurusha. All these activities, you offer it to me. Mai sarvani karmani sanyasya adhyatma cetasa. Adhyatma cetasa is being explained there. That I continue to perform my duties of life in this manner. So this is an informative, educative, instructive. What about the descriptive part of it? Have a little patience. Let us go to the next shloka. The shloka is full of operative clauses. What is the next shloka? Shloka number 31. Ye me matamidam nityam anutishtanti manavaha shraddhavanto anashuyanto mucchante teapi karmavi. Je me matam idam. Ye, those who. Idam mama matam. Matam is my opinion. here we can say my instructions. Those who abide by these instructions of mine, anutishtanti, they put it into practice, not only in the brain. You have to be intellectual to understand, but you have to be practical to reach. And that practicality is nididhyasana, deep meditative process. He says here, those who perform with whole heart this idea of mine, these instructions of mine in this life, Shraddhavanta, with due reverence, due faith, due belief in me, that God will not cheat me, God will not fail me, God will not let me down. Let me give of my very best, my whole heart to Him. Shraddhavanta anashuyanta, without having a slightest sense of aspersion on ability of God. Shraddhavanta anashuvanta. Oshua. Oshua is what you say is jealousy. Oshua. But it has various meanings. Anashuvanta here means Shraddha mantra. Shraddha means total reverence, total faith, total belief. He's fortifying that by saying, who does not have the slightest idea in his mind that God will let me down, God will fail me, God will not stand by my side. Muchyante teapi karmabhi. Muchyante teapi karmabhi. The hold of prarabdha karma, which is the purpose of this body, that hold of prarabdha karma will be washed out. Muchyante, which will be flooded away, which will be thrown away. You will be relieved of that bondage of prarabdha karma. Descriptive. These two shlokas gives you an idea what Sri Krishna wants us to be a karma yogi. What is that? That is Jetu sarvani karmani mai sangnasya adhyatma chetasha. Sarvani karmani mai sannyasya adhyatma chetasha. That is what it is. They have to perform it that way. And then he says, next shloka, next line is, Yetu sarvani karmani. Nirashir nirmamo bhutva juddhasya. Carry on the battle of your life by being desireless and expectationless. And you fight your battle of life without losing your cool. Bigata jana. Without getting, whether it is fair or that it is foul. Pujatar sangram apar. Chiro parajay tahana dara toma. Churna ho sharta shadman. Hriday shashan. Nachuk tahate shama. This is a Bengali poem written by Swamiji in Bengali language. He says, Sangrama apar, endless struggle. That is struggle of life. Convert it to pujatar, his worship. Convert the endless struggle of your life into a worship of his. Pujatar sangram apar. Chira parajay. Let continuing defeat, let that not scare you. Chiraparajaya tahana doratoma. Don't be scared that it is not happening because you don't expect anything from the world. Churnaho shartha shadman. Selfish desire, my hobby, and my reputation. These are things which we are attached to. He says, let it blow into smithereens. Sadhaman, Churnaho Sartha Sadman. Self-interest and Sartha Sadha is expectation and man is reputation. Let them blow into smithereen, I don't want. Let the whole world kick at me. I don't bother. Nachu Tahati Shama, the Divine Mother will invade you and your hearts. She will be dancing with joy within you. Here is my son, who has made him the man of himself. This is a poem from Swamiji. It has also been translated into English. Who dares misery love, hugs the form of death, dances in destruction's dance, to him the mother comes. This is the English translation made by Swami Sridharananda ji and Sister Nivedita. The Bengali has been translated into English. What does it say? The dance in destruction's dance, to him the mother comes. The Divine Mother will play in your heart when you have made your heart into a burning heart. There's nothing of world in this matter. But a cremation ground is you burn everything of the world. The most precious is your body. You make your heart as a burning ground. It is purest of the pure. And then the mother will come and dance there. This is what Sri Krishna says here. Je me matamidam nittam anutishtanti manavaha plural Shraddhyavanta anashuyanta muchanti te api karmabhi. What happens to those who do not do so? What happens to those who do not do so? Jetu abhyasuyanto nanutishtanti me matam sarvajnana vimudatma vidhi nashtana acetasha. And those who do not have that full faith in me, do not have the full dependence in me, that is, come what may, God is with me. This is the idea, that God and myself, we are inseparable. He is always with me. Those persons do not have such a faith on God. Their awareness will never achieve that goal, Adhyatma Chetasha. Their Chetana will be nashtan, it will be spoilt in this world. That Chetana, which could have given you that place, oneness with God, that Chetana will bind you down to the world. It's your choice. We'll look into it then the next day. Let us stop here at the 31st shloka. Je me matamidam nittam anutishtanti manava Shraddhyavanta anashuyanta muchyate teapi karmabhi. And those who do not do, what happens to them, we'll study during the next discussion. Thank you, dears. Thank you ever so much for your undivided attention.
Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Tat Sat Shri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu.